How you doing? This is Don King of 592, and I'm playing the gun. I don't even know what I'm playing. Oh, I'm playing Backdoor Bandit today. I meant to put Backside Bandit, and then for some reason I wrote Backdoor Bandit. Completely different meanings, but it is what it is. All right. The new guard update. All right. I got some heat from a couple of the members over at Rogers Raiders. And a few people in the YouTube forum about during the live, just kind of ending after 4 hours without talking about the new guard update that happened during the live. All right, guys, not going to happen like that. We don't just point at pictures and say, look, here's what's changed, because telling you about the interface change is not telling you what's changed in your account. Okay, this is graphics, right? This is not what has really changed. So we had a KvK since then. Now, I didn't live the KvK because I didn't know what was going to happen. It could have been 10 hours of boring, but I also suspected what was going to happen, and what I suspected did happen. We got our overpowered super duper kingdom 591, who is so predictable in everything they do that the minute we saw that we had 591, we knew how the day was going to go. Precisely. Nothing went out of order from what we predicted the first 5-10 minutes. You got to remember that I, myself, and the team that I play with have been doing this for 4 years. But we don't just log on a Saturday and go, oh, this is what we got. Everybody rush the tower. We actually remember previous stuff. We know the way people play. We know about how they're going to act. And we knew the minute 591 contacted the and gave a nap to the guy that was in charge of the Alliance. What's his name? Captain Jack. It's like, oh, we got a nap. I was like, okay, that won't last long. I'm glad it didn't last as long as it could have. I really thought they must have gotten bored. I thought they would turn around and stab us in the back somewhere around hour 7. My account's not big enough for their biggest account. That's just all there is to it. Plus, for the reason of this video, don't know what we're getting into. Now, as soon as I saw the big account pop in right next to my tower, we withdrew the tower. I was the only tower without a mega. I was the number 1 in the tower, so my stats are on top, but no mega. And I was presenting weakness. Okay. Here's the one tower that a great big monstrous liar could hit. And even then, he didn't. So this is our insider trading of information type stuff. And so the 3.6 million troops that I had under me in that tower, instead of just popping the mega, which would have been the right response, because we could have took him on a solo. Since the guard update, soloing out towers probably is not going to happen a whole lot unless it's T13s on T12s. I don't have a way to test that, but there shouldn't be any T13 on T12 fights, or at least not too many of them. So let's get to the report, the one report. So when it was over, I went over and hit another tower in another kingdom. Okay, this is the one bug I found in the last update. All right, the 752,000 was the march that I sent. Seriously injured 328,000. That's a problem. Okay, that's the number of people that went to the hospital. Why is that a problem? Okay, 420. The rest of them died. Why is that a problem? I have a 65% battlefield treatment. Less than 40% of my troops survived that hit. Okay, this is the guaranteed stinking number, guys. 65%, I should have had more than half my troops survive. The battlefield treatment is not being calculated improperly as part of when it's on. It actually should give you what looks like a larger march cap for the short period of time that you can use the battlefield treatment. Because your troops, while seriously injured, should still be there in that fight. It's pulling them out of the fight at the time they're dying, and it's not doing an overall calculation, apparently, because I lost so many stinking troops. That was an extra $65 worth of speed ups in that one hit that I lost because of bad math. All right. And before people get into sanctuary, hospital capacity, yada, 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 all that bullshit doesn't matter. That's why they shouldn't have been taken out of the fight before the fight was over. You have that hard number. That's your talent. It's a limited talent. That's why they should have been able to stay in the fight and not roll out of the fight so that you incurred the loss that you did. Now, this is against 2.68 million troops. Any other weekend other than this weekend, I would have zeroed that tower and lost about 60,000 troops. All right. I know what I can do against this type of tech. We're going to show you here. It was a terribly built tower. Okay. Not a lot of T12s. And it was distance T12s against my distance T12s, which we'll show you their stats in a second. I would have just pummeled. But it was, oh, wait a minute. That's mine. And was Jazzy J the freaking leader? This was Mega. Yeah, okay. So Jazzy J with his level 6 airship versus my level 7. His 3-star guards and 4-star guards. Right? Battle details. I should have. I normally would have pummeled these. Just pummeled them. These are real players. All right, in Kingdom for this King, that's Kingdom 591. I was in 608 when I was hitting them. And they were level 5 on the towers over there, so they got a big bump in stats from that. And we'll show you their stats. So I just wanted you to put that in mind that that's how weak they were. Okay. And then we immediately dropped down T11s, and that one guy with T11s, and the rest was just some T10s. Right? So this was all nothing burgers. I'm more than 20% of them on stats alone. Plus I've got my base, plus my guards, and you're going to see it. My damage numbers really pummeled them. So I was 87 to, I'm almost 2,000 ahead of them on troop attack. Versus their troop defense, I am right at 2,000 above them. So, and then again, 2,000 on their health. So we get into distance attack. Now this guy had stacked his distance attack, his distance stat. So he's stacking everything distance. Which is normal for an account that's building. It's the easiest one to play with. I don't play with it because it's easy. I play with it because I find the cavalry is more effective but more costly, and it's about expenses. It's not about, what's effective there. And I'm still building up my 2 cavalry guards for defense. Sorry about the cough. All right. So, then we get into the damage numbers, and I am just pummeling some damage numbers in here. 20-30% above them. We get down into these down here, and I'm just towering over them. 30% better damage numbers in there in the towering. All right, and then we get into war books. I'm smoking them on war books. Remember, war books don't reflect on the stats. So there's damage down here that don't reflect on the stats. And this wound up being a troop-for-troop draw when I should have just flowed right through a whole bunch of these troops. I did this one hit only, because as soon as I saw how much of my march died when it shouldn't have, that was a problem for me. I built up enough for 2 good solid hits with my normal march, and it's not there. So what has changed in the guard numbers is this reflects a little closer to the way it was 3-4 years ago. Okay. That would be what you would expect when a solo person hit a tower, even with monstrously bigger stats. Remember, there's got the guys that I'm running from are bigger than me, but these aren't the guys I'm running from. These are the guys I should be like the guy attacking me. That's why I said when that guy with the 11,000 top stats and the 22,000 Bob stats parked next to me, knowing this now, I would have stuck in the tower. Now, I wish I'd have stuck in the tower to know if I'm right or if this is somebody playing a manipulation game with me personally because they're using me as a testing platform still. But taking the first loss that I did, I can't have 25% of what I expect to be there. That I paid $400 to prepare for this one day of testing, and to have $65-80 of it just disappear wrongfully. That was me. That prevented me from doing a second hit to find out what I could do on the second hit. Could I two hit the tower? That would be the next thing that I would have been doing 3 years ago. Is I'd be hitting the tower 3 times, bam, 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 bam. And can I go in there by myself and 3 march a big tower? Okay, I would have said yes. I probably could have won this one. Because we go through and we'll look again. You know, that's just part of when you guys watch, you know, the big Eschers, the girls and stuff like that, you know, they're not expecting to win, you know, 60% of their fights. You know, it's about attrition, whittling things down. I'm at a completely lower level than they are, but it's still the same skill sets, right? You know what you got to spend, know what you're willing to spend, what you're willing to put in the middle. And frankly, with mergers coming up, I don't want my kingdom losing a bunch of troops carelessly. We manned our towers quickly. We fully manned our towers. Every tower had every troop in it, all T10 and above. We looked good on Saturday. I was very, very happy with the look of it. We've got a lot to go in learning when, where, and how to move things. And frankly, you know, we've been sharing the who's in charge thing, but we need to start getting them to share the skill sets that we've seen for 4 years. A lot of people get their feelings hurt when it's just a couple of us making a decision, but it is because we knew the first 5 minutes how the day was going to go. It's not because we're know-it-alls. It's because we've just seen that many times, and quite frankly, from that person. That team is now trained itself to play that way. And anytime we see that team, I kept saying, you know, they kept going, oh no, he's over here, he's over here. I said, guys, they swapped names on the castles. Oh, no, he's right here. He's still in the... I'm like, I'm telling you, they swap names on the castles. It's a tactic. And instead of arguing with me, like, they should have asked, how do you know that? You know, but they don't want to know how I know. They want to argue with, no, I see his name, and that guy that's fighting us is so honest and so wonderful, and he has nothing but kindness in his heart. He offered us peace. He showed up 15 minutes later to zero the towers. Trust me, he changed his names on some castles. So, because there was like dozens of 42s and 43s, they were still at 1 star. The 1 star they got off of us 4 months ago, and realized that put them against a bunch of other people that they get their butts kicked against a lot. They haven't earned another star since. We knew they weren't taking our castle that day. No way in hell was Kingdom 591 going to take our castle that day. There's no reason to risk troops. You know that you can't beat the guy with the similar names running around. You can't even identify which 42, 43 is his. And there was a half a dozen of these 42s, 43s. The 42 that we haven't, that was playing opposite of my 42, his stats on his stat sheet, on the the show stats, almost exactly like mine. But I wouldn't hesitate to freaking hit him. I wouldn't lose squat doing it. Because the show stats and the damage numbers, he's built up his castle skin. He's bought a whole bunch of stuff and stats that sound really good, but he hasn't built his castle for combat. Because he rarely shows up to do anything. which makes you wonder, why is he buying marquee badges if he doesn't show up to events for free ones? I got all my marquee badges for free. I haven't bought a single one yet. If you guys wonder why I'm not getting there, it's the kingdom needs to catch up, and I don't need to. There's no one should be up there trying to compete in anything other than castle size. They're putting that castle size up there because in the minds of people who don't play this game on a regular basis, 142 is the same as another 42. And if you don't believe me, how many times have you told everybody else in your alliance, hey, there's a 42, there's a 43. Oh my God, it's a 41. Like one is as good as another. There's not a single 41 that we play against in these no loss events that I don't freaking, I don't even scout them. I just hit them. They're hollow shells. RSS is $13 from the backdoor bandits, right? You just go buy $13 worth of RSS and you can get 5 levels of castle. It's not hard. The regular badges, and they give you enough marquee badges out of New World, you should be instantly 41. Right? So is what it is, and it's the way it is, and it is the way it is. All right. So it's just the way the game has set itself out, and people have to adjust to the flow of that game. All right. So in these guards, we got. All right. So what changed in here? You notice there's some tabs missing over here on the right. Okay. So we can no longer adjust the speed. In other words, I can't change the speed at which my guard procs these talents. It's predefined by the game now. So let's not look at him. Let's go look at her. Okay, so I would have had her 181 somewhere around 240, 250. Yeah. Instead, we get the 15% appointment bonus, which I don't even think that's calculated. Hold on. We'll do that live. Let's go to appoint. Where's she at? Mopping. Let's replace her with somebody else. Now let's go to gods. Let's go look at Moppin. Still 181. So she's supposed to get an appointment bonus of 15%. She's not getting it stats. It's supposed to be right here. Okay, for being appointed. They're not getting it. That bug's been there. That appointment bonus, never there. So before I do something stupid like forget. And because that bug's there, you can play with your other guards. All right. What I mean by that, while that bug exists, appointing Anne doesn't matter. You're not going to get any benefit of appointing Anne. She's not going to get a bump in these speed stats or any of this other stuff just because you appointed her. So Anne is Anne. So you keep your old guards on. The older guards, they're worth more. They're worth more stats. I got Count Rochefort on here. We call him Count Crotch Rocket. Okay, no, I'm sorry. I've got Jacob on here now versus Inez because I wanted the benefits of Inez with the bonus, but she doesn't really have them. Jacob is easy to star up, and he gave me a little more being starred up and appointed. Even though he's a cavalry guard and I don't play a cavalry situation, there's no effect on the appointment for that. There should be. You know, when originally, you know, they kept asking me, please come in there and make a video and show us what we don't know what we're talking. You didn't stick the themes. You know, the mixing and matching of the account on 3 or 4 levels, you let all the complainers go, oh my God, it's so complicated. So, it's a pay-for-play game. But when there's complications in there, a free player who knows how to play can kick somebody's ass. That's the beauty of it, or supposed to be. But really, we get the guys going into a very particular Discord and line room and whining and bitching, and I spent $80,000 last year, and I don't like this. You spent $80,000 last year. Why didn't you stop spending if you don't like it? That's what a normal customer does. Jesus. All right. I'm just a saying. All right. A little tidbit for the people who watched all the way to the end here. Anthony over on RogersRaiders.com has been sharing. See, we got this Dark Horde event here. Over in the forums, he posted up the Best Buy spreadsheet. Okay. Now it's too late for this video, but if you guys don't know, they share that information over in the forums, and versus it being in a Discord room that then's got to go to this and go to Bob and like, well, my friend shares it. Well, your friend gets it from somewhere. All right. You don't have to wait till the last minute to know what the Best Buy is going to be. Somebody lets it out to the public in the open. You don't even have to be a member to download it. Or maybe you do. Well, you don't have to be a paid member. You can be free members. The reason you have to be at least a free, I got that locked out, is it stops spammers. The Russian spam has ended by putting a paywall in there. It was too much to manage the forums when you could sign up without going through the paywall, even at zero cost. So you go in there and it's free. You click, boom, boom, buy it for free, but it still goes through a credit card paywall. And they've got better security at filtering out bots. They're overly anal. So you're not paying anything, but you're going through my credit card provider's security layer as well, because they just frankly don't make a good quality anti-spam filter for logins. They just don't. For whatever reason, that's been a problem for 15 years, and it still is a problem. The way to deal with it, for those that are copying me to build up their own little YouTube environments, you've got to build a paywall, or you will be in a nightmare constantly deleting Russian and Chinese spam. It'll never end. I mean, like 200-300 a day. I stuck up the new idletools.com website, and I hadn't had the paywall built yet. The day I turned it on, I had 300 forum messages. Not a single person registered. Just absolutely directly inserting into the forums, because their stuff knows how to bypass the logins, the security paywall, whatever that hole is that this software has said they have fixed for 15 years, has never been fixed. So don't trust your software provider any more than you trust your opponent in KvK. We're going to give you a nap, we promise, right up until the time we're ready to deal with you. Once we secure the other kingdom, then we're going to come for you. I'm not even going to announce how I knew exactly when they were coming, because that's my dirty little secret. You know, when you guys play me, prepare for what you think you know and what happens to be two different things. Your best defense playing against me is hoping somebody else is in charge that day. Because then you're going to get normal play of what people have seen or how they think it's played or how somebody says it's supposed to be played. All lessons taught in some forum and Discord room by a guy that wants you to play that way, right? He wants his enemies. You know, it'd be nice to play chess with somebody, but you tell him how to move the pieces. Don't be that guy. Don't be predictable. Learn some tricks that nobody else knows. All right, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.